it was a really good conversation you had with Pinecreek, and sort of he was explaining
he's a little devious, deceptive person.
Okay. Well, you think he's got sort of ulterior motives? Do you think? Or?
Well, he must have.
Well, yeah. Do you know why? Okay, because he's putting on this big pretend show, like he's just inquisitive and just he really wants to know the truth and wants to develop a really good method of knowing things. But did you know where he's getting all of this stuff from? Do you have any idea?
Where he's getting his ideas from?
Yeah. Do you know who I'll use the word mentor in quotation marks.
No, I don't.
It's Peter Boghossian. Do you know who that is?
Oh, he's the guy who's the street epistemologist.
Right. But you see, they're not street epistemologists. They're covert atheists trying to proselytize for atheism, but they don't want people to know that. The book is called A Manual for Creating Atheists, but when they're talking with people, they say, "Oh, I'm a street epistemologist. I just want to help you find a more reliable way to know things."
To be fair,
that's a lie. They are atheists who have denied and rejected the existence of God, and they're using Socratic methods and practices in order to evangelize and proselytize for atheism. And that's what Pinecreek is doing.
Like, I just want to comment. I agree. Like Pinecreek specifically, I think that he's a bit devious. Not. I don't want to be too broad, but like street epistemologists in general, precisely because this comes from something which is arguably deceptive. People who actually have been duped by it will be sincere if they employ it. So what happens is that it sort of ends up hiding itself in the sense that new street epistemologists aren't necessarily going to be insincere in their application of it, but they'll call themselves
new street epistemologists. Yeah, if they're receptive of it, you don't think the street epistemologists aren't going to say, pick up a manual for creating atheists, and then surprise, we're atheists.
Well,
now, let me just say one more thing, okay? Pinecreek, he may have mentioned Boghossian. I don't recall that he did. But at the back of the book, Boghossian lays out what his agenda is. You know what his agenda is? Is to get the American Psychiatric Association to change their diagnostic categories so that anyone who believes in God or ideas of the supernatural will be categorized as mentally ill and delusional. He also wants to use the government through the health agencies to undermine people having faith in things. Okay? Another thing he wants to do, and this is all in the back of the book. I can read it to you right now if you wanted to. He wants to use the government to financially cripple faith-based organizations. Now, he starts off by saying he wants their tax exemption removed, which would be unconstitutional, right? But he wants to go even farther than that. So this is the sort. I mean, this is the. And Peter Boghossian is a rabid atheist. Now, I mentioned this one time in a hangout, and an atheist flipped out and was, viciously arguing with me. And another atheist jumped in and said, "Wait a minute, I know Peter Boghossian. I have his book, Darth is Right." And that's the source material that Pinecreek is drawing from. But he's just putting on a real friendly facade.
So, what should he be doing then? Should he be, when he starts his interviews, what should he be doing?
They should be upfront, and not only are they atheists, be right up front, say, listen, we are atheists. We deny or reject belief in God, And our ultimate agenda is to get you to be an atheist, just like we Christians are up front. And like when I talk with you and I talk with Frank, and I talk with other people, say, I am a Christian. I am calling you to come to the Christian. We're up front about this. But the street epistemologists are not. Now, once in a blue moon, they might make reference to it and say, well, you see, we're being honest. But for the most part, they just have this facade. We're just trying to help people develop a better epistemology. That's not what they're doing. They're atheist crusaders, is what they are.
But Joe was saying that I have no problem because I haven't personally spoken with Pine Creek. I'm always wary of making accusations about people when I haven't spoken about them personally. But what I've seen, I don't like. But Joe, you were saying something to you were saying that you enjoyed a conversation that he had with Pine Creek. So should we continue the conversation from there, or?
Oh yeah, I guess I found it fascinating to see. I guess the presupposition argument I can see is very strong, and it certainly took me back when I first started hearing it a few years ago. And I guess I enjoy a feisty debate. So it was interesting seeing Pine Creek's response to it and how he sort of critiqued his own response when he was having the conversation with you, Darth. So, so how he was basically asserting that, well, he just assumes that the universe tells him that the laws are consistent. I thought, okay. I didn't think we could really, or something like that.
He doesn't say that. If you watch his videos, he doesn't even say that.
Okay. Well, I probably misrepresenting him because it's been a while since I've actually sort of listened to it, or maybe I listened to it maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah. Well, so, in my biased opinion, there's a whole lot of disingenuous, statements coming across on that YouTube channel.
Would his argument be stronger if he was more genuine? If you felt he was more genuine, like if he came up front and said this is what he doesn't do?
He doesn't have an argument. All he says is that he just doesn't believe. And then when the rationale for the Christian faith is presented through the revelatory acts of God and natural revelation and special revelation, he just goes, well, I just don't believe. So, okay. Now, he's presenting himself as though, well, you know what? He's just neutral and he just hasn't been persuaded yet. Yet the Bible says he's not neutral. He's in active rebellion. But he wants to reason that he's not in rebellion. So somebody's got it wrong here. Okay? And then he says, well, tell me about Jesus, because he wanted to change the subject over the fact that street epistemology has no basis for epistemology at all. None whatsoever. So he wants to change the subject. Oh, tell me about Jesus.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that tactic? Is that,
and the funny thing is, well, just one more quick thing. As though Pine Creek doesn't know the gospel. You watch his YouTube videos. He knows the gospel. He knows precisely what the Bible teaches. And then, in the midst of me questioning him, about his worldview, now he wants to know about Jesus, about the gospel, as though he didn't know about it. So I have a different slant on that YouTube channel.
So would you ever engage with him again, or that you have no interest in doing that?
Probably, but it'll be the same type of slippery type of approach that he does before. See, he'll just feign that, he'll go, tell me, how do I believe? How did you come to believe? I said, I read the Bible. I came to the conclusion that this is either true or it's false. After reading it, I was persuaded that it is true.